Hello, everyone, and welcome to Poems from the Heart, our paperback celebration. We have a few of our incredible poets here today, and we have Miss Care, who is wildly empathic, and she is one of our incredible poets. She's an incredible interviewer, and she's our host for today. So we're so happy to have all of you. Thank you so much, Care, for hosting this.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for everybody for being here. So I'm really excited to be here with everybody. Our book is officially out. Super exciting. And so what we are going to be doing today is just taking a moment to give everybody a spotlight on you and on the beautiful creations that you added into this book, so that one, you get celebrated, and two, so that our viewers just get a little bit of an extra taste as to who you are. And for our viewers, how this is going to roll is we're going to be going through our poets, and I'll be asking them several questions. And at the end, if anybody has anything else they'd like to add in, and then we'll conclude.
Perfect.
Amazing. So starting off, I'm going to ask everybody to introduce yourself by name and by your city. So actually, we won't start alphabetically, only because the first person right now is not on camera for different reasons. So we'll go to the second person, who will be Christina. Do you feel ready to rock?
Yes. Hi, everyone.
So do you mind letting our viewers know who is Christina and where are you?
Where am I? I'm in USA, New Hampshire, and it's been quite an adventure being a part of this beautiful collaboration of these beautiful souls.
Thank you so much for being a part of it. And what would you say is your favorite thing about poetry?
I'd say just being able to interpret it and feel how you feel authentically, being able to just be you and and not have any influences upon you, and you just kind of connect with it the way that you connect with it, depending on your own life and your experiences.
Beautiful. And what would you say inspires you to write poetry?
I would say people like Radhaa. Radhaa, she very much inspired me to write poems. I was just reading them, and I was enjoying reading them online to people to hear. But when she, voiced her, opinion on, hey, how about you start sharing your writing? And so I started writing again, and she was a huge inspiration to me.
Amazing. Would you like to share one of your poems from the book with our viewers?
Yes, and I'd like to say that Radhaa actually really inspired me again with this poem, because there was a meeting of our shadow that was both beautiful and eye-opening for me during that experience, and that's where this poem comes from. I wanted to create a safe place for everyone to feel how they felt, and I wanted to also bring out emotions that perhaps were hidden, and this is what it came about. It's called Housewarming. Welcome to my home, where you will find you are not alone. Have a seat right here. If you look to the left, you will see a young girl dancing and singing joyfully, free in the kitchen, as she lets the music flow through her. Her dances are endless. She embodies inspiration. Her dances, her voice are for her, not for you. If you ask her why she won't perform outside, she'll tell you, I don't need the attention. Let's go to the living room, formerly a place of chaos, where you will never know what words would hurt you, but the woman sitting on the couch cuddled up with a warm blanket and a book knows how to rest, how to create peace as she appreciates the quiet. And now the hallway, a secret pathway leading to a common spaces of connection, away from the bedroom of isolation. In the room at the end of the hall, you will see an empty bed. It is both my friend and my enemy. Here, I often found myself lost in my thoughts, while I consumed by my past. And then the bed was not always empty. Once upon a time, there was a couple who seemed happy. Later on, it became a place of deprivation. He was a lie, even as I lay with him. Now without him, the bed feels fuller, peaceful. but it is still missing someone. It was a long way back, the hallway dark for me to see. I was enough for myself. Come back, please. Let's sit back down. If you feel like waiting for a while, you will meet, coming through the door, many who will love me for myself. And who knows, you might be one of them. And that is it. Thank you for letting me share that.
Beautiful. How did that feel to share that out loud? You're getting an applause all around.
It feels great.
It feels great because I really want people to, as I've said, feel different emotions. And I think poetry really brings out your own life experiences. And whether or not you went through what I've gone through, I want to be able to, create a safe space for you to even imagine what the other person went through in the poem.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for pouring so much of yourself and your vulnerability into your piece. And I'm so excited to hear any feedback that you do get from beings who this poetry piece resonates with. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any last little thing that you'd like to share before we continue to the next poet?
Just that I really felt that I was doing a lot of replays and they all touched me, and you all touched me. Your hearts are huge and your souls are beautiful. And I just wanted to say that because I did a lot of replays. I wasn't there. I have a 4-year-old son. I'm a solo mom, recently divorced. So I am just doing my best, and I feel very blessed to have you all in my life now.
Thank you so much. And we feel the exact same way about you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Christina, for your beautiful share. And we are going to continue forward, and we are now going to connect with Alana Starr. Hello, Alana, and welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Where are you tuning in from today?
Los Angeles, California.
Amazing. So what is your favorite part about poetry?
The authentic expression that comes through, and the battle of the mind with yourself. With, can I share this? Should I share this? And I think that's how we get so much more raw and authentic. I just like going back and reading it later when it's messy and being like, oh wow, I can't believe I wrote that, and being surprised at my own work. So I love that.
I fully agree with you. There's almost sometimes you get this download that it's not meant for you in this moment, or it's meant to be.
Exactly. It's not meant for you in the moment, or it's not meant for you at all. It's meant for somebody else. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I love sharing it. That's another thing too. Sharing it and then hearing the feedback, and you're like, oh, okay, that's inspiring. I'm ready to do more.
And what inspires you to write poetry?
Well, yeah, I guess Radha too. I've known her for many years, and she's been a big supporter. We've done a lot together, but she always says I have a way with words, and so does my partner Bruno. He always says you have a way with words, and they encourage me to keep writing and publish. And also, I would say the Holy Goddess, the Mother, that because she comes through for me a lot, and I feel like a lot of us have channeled that in coming through Radha. Of course, like there's a thread between all of us that are, pouring out bits of her, which is, the beautiful part of all of this.
Definitely does have a magic when it comes to helping bring out the feminine.
Yeah.
Would you be open to sharing one of your pieces with us from the book?
Yeah, I actually chose Sparks of Her to embellish the, what I just said about how we're all weaving together a part of her. So it's called Sparks of Her. Each one a piece of her, a memory, a gospel, a story to tell, how she soared on high and then fell. From girl to woman, from tiara to crown, a goddess in bloom. Life-giving portals, adorned with love, each one a spark of her, embellishing the material. Though many come to take, she knows no bounds, always around, in and out, between worlds. Her heart sings when we pray. Her endless love emerges from within, awaiting all her sparks to hear her call. The question lingers heavily. Will they be recovered? The lover, the fool, the priestess, the magician, the emperor, the empress, Kundalini arisen. Once hidden in darkness, now come to light. Forgiving misfortunes, balancing the scales. She as one with the Father, on the sacred mission. Realizing her vision, our Maker's revision. And that's a short version of a really long one that I mean, shorter. I'm gonna make heels. Yeah, so.
Thank you. And how did that feel to share out loud?
It feels great. Yeah, it feels really nice. It feels like that her sparks are being recovered. Exactly what it is saying is that every time we raise our voice, sorry buddy, every time we raise our voice and we share, what we're doing is we're letting her emerge from within us, her and the Father, you know, like we're allowing the divine to come through. And I think that that's like amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that beautiful and powerful share, and for also allowing the feminine and the masculine to both be here. And is there any last little tidbit that you'd like to share before we move forward to the next poet?
Just keep sharing. Yeah, keep sharing. And, you know, even if you think it's silly, just share with somebody and then you get that inspiration to keep going.
Totally agree with you. Be the stone that creates the ripples.
Even if your kids are screaming and you have dishes piling up and you have laundry to put in and you have to do this work. It's the correction of humankind, mankind is going back to our divinity and going back to that in art, whatever you know, it's all art, whatever you can write, sing, dance, but there's something special about poetry. So yeah, all that jazz.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us, Alana.
And
You're
we-
getting a round of applause.
Thank you.
Amazing. So we are now going to continue forward and we are going to connect with Joan of Angels. So, hello, Joan.
Hello, everyone. All you beautiful, beautiful women and poets and creators.
And where are you tuning in from today, Joan?
I'm tuning in from, I could say I'm tuning in from memories of my Egypt trip, but I'm tuning in from Fallbrook, California, right today.
Beautiful. And what would you say is one of your favorite things about poetry?
Well, that's such a great question. I like that, like, when I could be sitting somewhere and doodling and suddenly words come. And they're fragments and little rhymes or little things. It's always happened, used to happen in school all the time. I'd write these great poems and they don't take a lot of time. It was just, you know, it just was like a download. And so that's what I really like about poems. It's like the short version to what's going on in your mind.
I love it. It's like
Yeah.
creating everything from your brain into that funnel down into poetry.
Right, right.
And what inspires you to write poetry?
Well, so as I said, I guess 3rd grade, 5th grade, 8th grade, boredom, little words would come. And, you know, I didn't have an inspiration at that time. I just wrote down what was coming all the time. And it would be cute little rhymes and meaningful or not meaningful, but I can't say I was so inspired, except maybe boredom pushed me to create.
Sometimes
Now it's different. Now it's different because I can feel inspired. I was inspired in the poem I'm going to read. I was inspired to capture my trip to Egypt. If I could synthesize that, you know, in just a poem, that would be great.
beautiful.
That was deliberate.
Would you be willing to share this poem with us? I'm very curious.
Yes, absolutely. And I can tell you that it really began, I was on a cruise going down the Nile River. And so there's a lot of memories, even when I read it. So, Echoes of Egypt, the High Priestess Odyssey. In Egypt's ancient sands, I roamed with grace, rekindling memories of a timeless place. a life once lived in Pharaoh's tender care. As high priestess I stood, a soul laid bare. In sacred temples where the Nile winds weaved, I walked as wife to Pharaoh's heart believed. My soul adorned with healing's radiant light, a beacon in the day, a star in the night. Initiate of mysteries, renowned and bold, in sacred rites and secrets I'd unfold. The amethyst crystal pyramids did gleam, unlocking wisdom like an ancient dream. Isis, the goddess, her presence so dear, guiding me through realms both far and near. She whispered secrets of the cosmic skies as I, her vessel, began to rise. Cosmic spiritual leader, mantle embraced, through time and space I journeyed interlaced. With ancient memories in Egypt's embrace, a high priestess reborn in healing's grace. The pyramids, they whispered, tales untold of amethyst power, its stories old. In cosmic dance, I wove my destiny, embracing truths and the mysteries of eternity. Now, as Joan of Angels, I stand once more, a beacon of light on wisdom's shore. The echoes of Egypt, a timeless guide in healing's embrace. Forever we ride.
So powerful. You're receiving a whole round of applause from everybody.
The way you read it, it's just perfect. Your voice, beautiful.
Thank you so much for that gift of transmission. And how did that feel to share out loud?
Oh, I just loved it. I felt like it got better every time I've read it. And when it's not until I hear myself reading it, that I actually know what it is. So yeah, good
Amazing.
feeling.
I love that. And is there any last little tidbit of knowledge or wisdom that you would like to share with our viewers before we
Oh
move?
yeah. If you have little thoughts that are in your head and little rhymes, get a piece of paper, carry it with you, and just start to jot them down, because they're little messages to you from the divine. So carry a little pad, and then you can send them to Radha, and they'll be book 2, book 3, book 4, but just capture them.
Beautiful.
So-
Thank you so much for that. I fully agree with you. Having that pad of paper, even your notes in your phone, if you don't have that paper there.
Right.
So thank you, Joan, for your wisdom and for your beautiful share.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Radha. Thank you for having the wherewithal to create your company and your publishing and finding all of us poets. Thank you.
She has her hand over her heart for anybody who can't see that. So we are now going to continue forward, and we are going to move into connecting with the divine masculine on the call, Emmanuel.
Yeah, you need a man, right, to balance and complete the feminine, don't you?
Definitely need that, bringing that masculine sometimes. How are you doing today, and where are you tuning in from?
Doing great. Just on my way to the gym in Santa Barbara after working a little bit this morning, and it's a beautiful sunshine day. So sending lots of love and light to you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I receive it, and so does everybody else on the call.
So,
So, Emmanuel, what is your favorite thing about poetry?
well, I think like most of us, it's really letting your soul speak out, cry out sometime, laugh out sometime, depends, I mean, in my case, I found myself really writing when I'm in pain. So in a way, it allows me to get rid of that pain and kind of, in a way, vomit it on the paper, exhaust it, most of my inspiration come from that, and it's usually based on relationship, whether it's family members, loved ones, ladies. I'm French, obviously. I guess I fell one too many times in love in my life, and still falling in love, and still falling out of love or being betrayed. So yeah, it's that. It's the expression of the soul for sure.
Beautiful. The flow of emotions.
Mhm.
And what inspires you to write poetry?
Like I just mentioned, it's really you, my friends, the relationships, the love ships, sometimes the business ship, but again, it comes after a storm, for some reason, when I'm in peace and love, I can't write. When I'm too happy, I can write. Or what comes out is so cheesy that I'm ashamed of what I write because it's so silly and naive, and I don't think it's creating any deep thought. But with pain comes an introspective look at the problem and coming with solution eventually, because my poems are always tortured at the beginning, but at the end there is light. So it's me through the writing, going through that maze of darkness and looking for the light and coming out with the light. So, and I think a lot of poems are like that. If you look at them, they start pretty dark and they end up pretty light, or at least with a ray of hope. And I think that hopefully what our poetry does, it's create hope with people reading it.
Beautifully, beautifully said. And I love how you brought in the beauty of shadow and light, and how poetry has that ability to bring the readers from that deep emotion of shadow to light just through a few moments of reading some words. Very powerfully said. Would you be willing to share one of your poems with us?
Sure, I was looking through all of them, and then because behind me you can see a drop of water, because I'm also a filmmaker. I do a lot of documentary on big subjects, and actually in the chat I just text you a movie I did about women, and then another one about the cure, about healing the mind and the body. But I just finished one on water, and so I found a poem I wrote about water. Don't ask me why and when. I have no idea, because I've got an ocean of poems, but it's kind of about water and liquid. So it's called Glory. Let the ocean take me down there, fill up my body of the purest air. Let the ocean rush under my skin, keep alive a little longer my dream. Let the ocean rush my brain, a perfect wave to forget about the pain. Let the ocean spread more honey down the curves of your sexy body. I'm French, obviously, so I had to put some lines like this. Glory to you, my beautiful. Glory to me, your soul, and glory to the above mysteries that make and unmake our destinies. Glory to you, my promised land. Glory to me, your wonder friend, and glory to the below insanities that make and unmake our destinies. Let the ocean take me backstage, move my spirit with the guitar's riff. Let the ocean drown away the myth, keep alive the reality of my rage. Let the ocean daze the endless summer, and what I can remember I will discover. Let the ocean surf the freak in me, and what I did sad I will make you happy. Glory to you, my beautiful. Glory to me, your soul, and glory to the above mysteries that make and unmake our destinies. Glory to you, my promised land. Glory to me, your wonder friend, and glory to the below insanities that make and unmake our destinies. Let the ocean get me stoned, drilled with you, with my blood a throne. Let the ocean be your kingdom, and may you witness your wishes come home. Glory to you, my beautiful. Glory to me, your soul, and glory to the above mysteries that make and unmake our destinies. Glory to me, you glorious day. Glory to you, my eternal journey. And yes, it does feel good to say it loud. Well, because it comes alive, when it's on the page, it's kind of, it's stiff, it's just ink on the paper. But when you say it, when you perform it, that's when all the emotion come, and you trip and you don't say it perfectly, but you feel the emotion, you feel the passion. And I think that what is amazing with poem is that it's authentic. It's really the true self that comes up to the surface. And that's what I love. It's one writing, it's so spontaneous. It's that soul transforming into ink on the paper. It's all this avalanche, this ocean of emotion, and it makes you feel alive and kicking.
So powerfully said, and thank you for answering the next question.
I try to make it easy on you, that's me.
Before I ask you the last one, the one thing I do want to say is, as a French Canadian myself, not a French from France, but French Canadian, never apologize for having put whatever you want in your writing. It is you, and you are you, and that is the beauty of your expression. So as we continue forward, is there any last little tidbits of wisdom that you'd like to share with our viewers and our fellow poets?
Keep writing, keep writing. That's the only way you're going to find yourself at the end of the rainbow. You know, it's a long path, but it's a work in evolution. I don't think we never hand perfect ourselves, or we never truly find ourselves, but at least we can complete the puzzle of ourselves a little bit as we grow older and wiser, you know. And it's there are still more pain coming, more joys, you know. I just ended up a 20-year relationship, so trust me, it's really hard to put back together the puzzle of that life. But that's at the same time the beauty in the pain is that there's always a new hope, a new day. So keep going, keep surfing the wave.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
Peace and love.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing a little bit of divine masculine into our call.
Anytime, ladies, just call me.
Love it. So we are going to continue forward with Malalan.
Hi, blissful greetings, everyone.
So nice to have you. And where are you tuning in from?
So now I'm actually in Minnesota, USA, but I'm from Maharlika originally, or the Philippines.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for specifying. And what is your favorite thing about poetry?
So the best thing that I love about poetry is to be able to express yourself authentically without judgment, just letting yourself and your feelings be there, whatever side you're on, based on my experience, be it sometimes we are in the dark side of our emotions or sometimes in the light, but just expressing out there. And for me, it's actually, I consider it as emotional healing and therapy.
Amazing.
So, yes, thank you.
Beautiful. And what inspires you to write poetry?
Well, to be able to, first of all, to be with you all, to be connected to people like us here in this circle. It's inspiring to know people like who shares the same value and the same light, who stands in the same light that I am, and also to spread that light and positivity to the world, because I believe that our world needs much of it these days and more of us these days, especially these times, is what Radha mentioned about earlier.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that forward and for also bringing the heart forward for our world. And would you like to share one of your poems from the book with us?
Sure. So I would love to share this one of my poems. It's the title is Ghost Rider, and this actually resonates a part of me. So here it goes. The elements of life and death quiver in every breath, struggling to survive in the eyes of the tempest. Every stone drips blood and sucks the verve. Who can feel what is real? The unknown always remains a legend, unfolding a new chronicle every century, and leaving a mystery that drives the spirit to be free and be tested either to fail or survive. Who can truly live? Since the beginning of the consciousness, the eye tries to enter every door and window, for eternity is beyond limits. But every step just brings closer to the end. Who can pass? The time has come when words just become water, so light and liberated, waiting to be dissolved in its power and merge with the wind. Who can truly hold? Then the heart is the only weapon, the nucleus of the being, but those who believe lives in a dream. Everyone is asleep, yet denies. Who can be awakened? Illusions bestow a gravity too valiant to resist, for it is the only way to see the matters that exist. But what is authentic is a ghost that rides in every soul, so silent and deep. who can truly see. Namaskar.
Thank you so much for sharing. You're receiving love from all the different cameras right now.
Yeah.
And how did that feel to share that out loud?
Well, for me, I feel it is enriching and it is empowering personally. And I hope that I'm able to transcend that vibes as well.
They definitely came through. Especially with you reading it out loud, it brought definitely that extra magic. So your wish was granted. And
Thank you.
is there any last little tidbit of knowledge or wisdom that you would like to share with our viewers before we continue forward?
Sure. So, based on my experience and background and life, we know that duality is always there. You know, objective world, subjective world are always opposites of things. But knowing our purpose and connecting to the core of our purpose is a lifelong journey and lifelong process and realization. But once we are anchored to that core, then we will be able to live with that purpose, and it will make us and help us in our lives and in our journey. And whatever it is that you have in life, whatever talent, whatever, be it in arts, music, poetry, writing, share it to the world. The world needs it. Thank you. Humanity needs it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing that forward and for sharing the importance of duality and our core self. We are going to continue to move forward, and we are going to now connect with Patricia.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you doing today, and where are you tuning in from?
I'm doing well, and I'm tuning in from White Rock, New Mexico.
Beautiful. And Patricia, what is your favorite thing about poetry?
It takes me into another time and place. It's just like a journey, so I love it for that. Life is too heavy and serious or too full sometimes, and to just be able to dive into that world that just flows and is more sensual and more just in tune with feelings than with having to know what it means immediately. You know, it's just a felt sense. That's what I love about poetry. Yeah.
Beautiful. And what inspires you to write poetry?
Well, of course, Radha has inspired me to begin to share it publicly, which I am really grateful for, and being with all of you. And I've always written, and even when we've been here the entire time, I get this, there's a feeling here, like right, and it's like it's that you know, with tears, like, and that's where it comes from. And it's whatever I feel connected or passionate about. And it could be something deep and dark, or it could be something that's ecstatically bright and just like just awe. So nature calls me a lot, the earth, but also our relationships with one another and with the earth. That's what inspires me currently. Yeah.
Beautiful. Would you like to share one of your poems with us?
I would be delighted to. So when we were speaking before this, I was dabbing this vision oil on me, and I'm like, why am I doing that? But so the poem that I picked, there is a series that I wrote and called Conversations with Gaia, and it was really about me, this deep desire in my heart to speak with her, like, because I just feel like I've been through a roller coaster in my life, and some of it's not been beautiful and some has. And so the one that I picked, because of the vision that I want to hold going forward, and it's called Seeds of New Earth. I need to put these on so that I can see the little print. There is a deep sorrow in my heart, heavy and wet like the muddy flats after desert rain, heavy and wet and thick with grief. I have seen the disaster coming if we don't stop this way of life. I have felt it in my bones, the elixir of greed and vanity, the power drug of domination. I hear you softly, yet firmly remind me that humans do not reign supreme. We must learn to plant the seeds of the new earth. We are the new earth leaders, the voices of Gaia. We lead the way, tending the beauty and honoring all life. And the response from Gaia, yes, slow down. Feel my rhythm under your feet. Feel me breathing through the trees. Taste me in the air. Drink me into your cells. Let me deeply nourish you. Let there be a newfound joy burst forth from you like honey light.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing such a wisdom-filled poem. And how did that feel to share out loud?
I feel giddy. I feel like it's a surrendering to a part of me that has been hiding, and just like, it doesn't matter what people think. It's about sharing and the people that it reaches. So, you know, I know that there's a heart connection, and so it makes me happy. And I think that's what the giddiness is. And I'm just silly, but yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing the giddy energy into our call. And thank you so much for showing up so powerfully. It's always such a pleasure to connect.
Thank you.
Is there any last little tidbits of knowledge that you would like to share before we move forward to our next poet?
Just that, you know, to write from the heart. That's why this book has been so perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And we are going to continue forward, and we are now going to connect with Radhaa herself.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today? And where are you tuning in from today?
I am in actually I'm in California right now, and I'm doing good. I feel so happy every time we connect. It brings so much joy into my heart just to be creative with you all. You know, it's something we do together. Each person brings your soul spark, and it sparks me too. I feel so much happier even after having conversations with you, listening to your poems, listening to your hearts. And it really helps, I think, for everyone. It helps, at least for me, I can speak that it helps drop me down back into my heart and not so much in the mind. Like you said, Patricia, I feel it right here in the center. And it brings this beautiful healing elixir. And the word that comes to mind is like honey, you know, like honey is so healing. It's that nourishing, loving energy. So yeah.
Powerful. So, so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for so much love for all of our poets. And what is your favorite thing about poetry, Radhaa?
The radical self-expression that you can't be wrong, because, you know, if you're feeling something with such great intensity, whether it be such intense beauty and love, in our society, there's a little bit of a shunning about being so like raw and real. There's that little bit like, get it together, you know what I mean? And if you feel a fiery rage in your soul of betrayal, you're not allowed to always say that because wow, you're really emotional. And so what does poetry do? It alchemizes it all in a way that you can be fiery, you can be full of love, you can be your fullest self, and it's really that divine essence. And there is no right or wrong. We go beyond the judgments of right or wrong, and that's my favorite place to be, because this world currently is full of a lot of judgments, and it hurts, you know. And so to me, poetry is a safe haven. It's a place where we can all come together and share. You know, I think Emmanuel said this earlier, like it's the truest part of ourselves, and we bring that, and it's like brought to the surface, you know, like cream for milk, and it's just the truest part of our essence. And it's, yeah, so to me, it's a safe place, and it's also a true and honest place.
So powerfully said.
Mm-hmm.
And what inspires you to write poetry yourself?
I've been writing poetry since I was a kid. My dad just gave me some drawings and a few things that they found in the attic. And one of them was poetry. And I was really mad at my parents at some point as a kid. You know, I was having something going on. And so I wrote poetry instead, you know, like expressing that I was having some issues with them. And it was actually really funny. It was like it was a way of expressing myself when I didn't know how, when I didn't have the words. So poetry came to me before I even had the words and the maturity to be able to express myself. So it's that freedom. I think I was like 5 years old and I wrote this poem, these series of poems trying to express what I was feeling, and it still is relevant to this day. So
Your higher self coming through even when you were young. And would you like to share one of your poems with us?
yes, but I don't want to cry, so I don't know which one I'm gonna read, because some of them, if I read them, I mean, I haven't read them out loud, but they might make me tear up. So
All of you are welcome here.
did I mention
Bad.
poems?
I'm a crybaby. I'm a crybaby too. Don't feel bad.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't cry too much, but if I read it, sometimes like with poetry, if I read it out loud, then I might, you know, because it's the purest essence. So let me find one that has a little neutrality.
If it makes you feel better, I have 2 tears that have been hanging out on the side of my eye that just haven't fallen yet. So
I feel like that's we're due. I think it's good to dive into that stuff, and I think that poetry can definitely be used as a tool, and especially like in our private groups and stuff, to really express. So I'm looking forward to going even deeper on our next book, which I want to share too, which is our erotic book that we're going to be working through, and the innocence of eroticism, sensuality. It's not about, it doesn't even have to be about anyone else. It's just about our true nature, you know, our truest nature, like Patricia said, like being connected to nature, what that means, being a human for this little span of time. So okay, the Galactic Rose is what I'll read. In the vast expanse of space so wide, blooms a rose with cosmic pride. Petals shimmer, stars entwined. In the darkness, it brightly shines. Born from nebulae afar, fed by light of ancient stars, each petal a story told of galaxies bright and bold. Stems stretch out in 0G, rooted in infinity. Thorns that guard, bright as suns, spark like the light of ancient ruins. In the Milky Way it grows, a miracle, this galactic rose. Planets turn, comets dance, all in the rose's cosmic trance. Its fragrance, a celestial breeze, whispers through the endless seas. Dreams of universes start, held within its fiery heart, reflecting hues of nebula blue, cosmic winds that softly blew, a flower of eternal grace, a symbol of the vast embrace. In spaces silent, endless night, the galactic rose holds tight, an emblem of the beauty vast. In the universe, it is unsurpassed.
Beautiful. You're receiving claps and fingers. So powerfully read. And I love how it's all about the rose. And we were talking about essential oils with Patricia, and the rose oil is the highest frequency oil. So
Yes, it's a frequency. It's a frequency that we want to invite in, that cosmic rose frequency that helps bring back the sweetness of life after we've had a few emotional injuries. We need to call back the essence of the rose. So
beautiful. And how did that feel to share out loud?
it's surprising because I've never, I haven't read it out loud, so it's a surprising delight.
Beautiful. And is there any last little tidbits of knowledge or wisdom that you would like to share with our viewers before we move forward to the next poet?
Yeah, I mean, it's just reiterating what everyone else has said, that like Joan said, have a little pad, like just start collecting fragments of your poems. You don't have to be prolific or make sense. The point is not that. The point is, how is this, like Emmanuel said, purging parts of your heart, your heart, your soul, the way you feel. How can this help you move forward? How can you use this as a healing tool? And just remembering that the cheapest therapy sometimes is poetry. So why not? And it's nice to do it with a group of fellow poets. It's wonderful. And lastly, before we get off, I just want to say that because this poetry book was so wonderful and we had such great feedback, and a few of you wanted to do like essential poetry book, an erotic poetry book. So we will be doing that. If you have any interest, please reach out. And that is it.
So excited for that book. The combination of both the heart and erotic is a very exciting and stimulating combination. So we are going to move forward, and we are now going to connect with Sabrina.
Hi.
Hello. It's so nice to have you here. And where are you tuning in from?
I am tuning in from sunny Miami, Florida.
Oh, beautiful. You can see it in your face. You are radiating all of the sunshine that's outside right now.
Literally 100 degrees outside. So yes, that sun is definitely radiating.
And what is your favorite thing about poetry?
After you are kind of towards the end and answering this question and you hear everybody's questions, it's kind of like, well, what do I have left to say? But honestly, I feel like for me, poetry is a getaway. It's a therapy. It's a way to ease my mind in hardships and even sometimes in times of praise and happiness. I feel like poetry has been a part of me since the womb. So I just love the self-expressiveness about it and how you can be unapologetically you.
So powerfully said. You did have something to add. And what inspires you to write poetry?
Well, I am new to the group, so I am a singer-songwriter, and I've always been a writer my entire life, literally. And writing for me, again, it's a getaway. It's a way of self-expression. It's a way to let out those feelings that you have inside. Sometimes you don't want to talk to anyone. Sometimes people just don't understand. So that pen and that paper are everything.
Beautiful. Would you like to share one of your creations from one of those moments of pen and paper connecting with us?
I definitely would. I'm going to let everybody know, like I did a few minutes ago, I'm a crybaby. So this is, I'm going to go with Emmanuel and Patricia because Emmanuel expressed the poem I'm about to read in the negative and the light. And I just felt like Patricia's emotions was all me. So my poem is called, sorry guys, it's a personal poem, so
Take your time. Do you want to take a deep breath before we start?
yeah.
Let all the air out in your lungs. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Hold it at the top and let it go. Do as many of those as you need, and when you're ready, open your eyes, and we're here when you're ready.
Sorry guys. It's also an exciting thing to be able to express this emotion. I've been holding it for about 9 years. So my poem is called Life Revives. I never knew that pain could be long lasting. Shattered my heart to a million pieces, air grasping. I closed my eyes in disbelief. Could it be true, the words she speaks? Afraid to open my eyes, for with words I've lost life, self-meaning. Is it you, Lord, that deceives me? I gave my all to you, so why does this news make me blue, enraged, ready to catch a case? Lord, calm me down, give me strength. I hear it over and over. I'm crying my eyes out. Am I sober? Is this a dream, a movie scene? Wake me up, wake me out of this, please. I feel the black cloud darkening my mind. I'm asking you, Lord, take one more angel, one whose heart can find the strength to achieve letting go of what I don't want to believe. I have the bullet with me. I'm losing me. I'm back. Sorry, I lost myself. For a sudden moment, couldn't grasp mental health. The demon took over me. My angels kept fighting to clear my mind of the devil's confinement. The Lord slowed me down from my frantic thinking. I remember who I am now, so soft and dreamy, standing strong in love and all that I achieve in. I was lost, but now found. I am something to believe in. Turned a frown to a smile, one shattered heart, now just bruises. I took control of myself, now there's no losing. Tried to bring me down, but look who's pursuing. Baby, I'm a firework, protector of my doing.
Woohoo! You're getting an applause all around.
Got me tearing up.
That's
I
awesome.
tissue.
So powerful. Thank you for sharing it. And thank you for sharing it with all of your heart. Please
Yes.
go back and re-listen to yourself sharing it, because you can hear the throat chakra clearing that's happening as you're sharing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And is there anything, or actually before that question, how did that feel to share it out loud?
I always feel like it's a gift to be able to share any achievements that you've done. So it's an honor. I feel honored to share it with everyone that I shared this entire project with. And it's just been a complete blessing to hear everyone's poetry and just be a part of this circle. And I'm just honored. That's the word, honored.
Love it.
Beautiful.
And what would be one little last tip of wisdom that you can share with our viewers and our fellow poets before we move forward?
You have a voice, you have a pen and paper, and you have a mind, and continue using it. And don't ever stop. Don't ever let anyone discourage you or make you feel any less than what you are, because in my eyes, everyone here is talented and amazing and truly blessed in many ways. And I just love this energy, and everyone just needs to continue throwing it out there, because just how we came together, there's so many more people out there that we can reach.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for your time, and I appreciate you.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for your wisdom, and you're getting kisses from everybody. Oh, thank you so much, Sabrina. And from here, we are going to continue forward and connect with Selma. Hello, Selma.
Hello. Oh my gosh. I'm happy to be maybe last or close to last because I've just been touched so many times. This is wonderful. And I too am new, Sabrina. Not to everyone here, but to this group particularly. Yeah, this has been wonderful.
Thank you so much for joining us. And where are you joining us from today?
Los Angeles.
Beautiful. Another nice and sunny place.
Yeah, it has been.
And Selma, what is your favorite thing about poetry?
I'm going to say the surprise of it, because so many of my poems, for one, it was a surprise the first time I even did a poem because I was torn. And my friend who I'd shared with about what I was torn in a relationship, she said, Selma, do me a favor, write a poem. And I was like, I've never written a poem, but I did, and it just came out, and it really was a relief. And it's the way most of my poems come, like and I say the surprise, because the one that I chose to read, I also it was an event with my son. I'll go into it a little more in a bit, but it was drama in one sense, traumatic. And just yesterday I came up with, because I work with moms, that I'm a mama drama resolver. And so that's not the title of the poem, but it's the reason that I've chosen it, even though it's not in the book. And let's see, what else about it? The surprise. Yes. So that one, when I was going to write it, all I knew was, oh, I'm going to write a poem today. And I jumped in the car with my pad. And when my husband dropped himself off somewhere and I stayed in the car waiting, I went, oh, I'm going to write about that. And again, just poured out on the paper. So I love the surprise of it. And there's also an abstract part of it that I love too.
Beautiful. And I'm excited to hear your poem in a moment. Before we get into it, what inspires you to write poetry?
Well, like an example there was another person, an event, but basically emotions. And, I mean, like that's the common part. And the book couldn't have a better title. It's like we're all writing from the heart, poems of the heart. Absolutely. Is there really a poem that isn't? I don't know. It seems that it is the bridge for us to express whatever's in our heart, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. And would you mind sharing your beautiful poem that came from your heart with us?
Yes. Thank you. Let me see. Let me get to it. Hey, it worked a minute ago because let's see. Here we go. It's called No More Diffusing Life. Oh, and I meant to say, okay. So I'm already moved. I didn't know that I would be. I was going to say, absolute crier. I even wailed for others. And that's been a gift for such a long time. And maybe just talking about this, I'll be able to read it just fine. But in the beginning, I never could read it without crying. And then the last few months, I've read it a few times and to others. And there were no tears. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So here we go. One more little preface is, this is the part that touches me. It's about my son. And we helped him be free from heroin. The poem, I say, was written like 15 years after that he went through it. I have his permission to share it. It empowers him. We are in Los Angeles because of him coming here to build a business. And It's very successful. No more diffusing life. The man is using and he's losing more than his smile. A return to innocence now. It's just confusing everything, abusing the self, losing his sense of self, his life as he knows it. And we lose him all the while. That's all. No more than that, except our smile. It is addiction, no matter which drug or which distraction. It is always a seductive invitation to lose a piece of yourself, a contradiction to life, which is a debt just the same. Not to minimize the graveness of using, actually to traumatize and emphasize. Loss of self is still a loss of self, whether we allow small ways every day, throughout the day, breaking promise, breaking trust, breaking truth. Ultimately, it is all heartbreaking, soul-breaking, self-breaking. How do I mirror the emptiness I see in his eyes? With love, by standing for him and holding him as completely whole, the way he always was. Relentlessly holding my picture of him in that perfection. It's the only magic I know. When he looks into my eyes in his faraway glance, he is brought back a bit from the love in my stance. No longer any space for avoidance. Instead, he builds his resistance into persistence and endurance. One moment in many, each fulfillment extraordinary. To nestle and nurture a hint of willingness, birthing a new craving, allowing for support. Each and every moment till it becomes his fort of strength, persistence, and endurance. We do nothing alone, no matter what, unless it would be losing. We live with choices every day, now every day choosing. No more diffusing life.
You're receiving applause all around. So powerfully read. And thank you so much for bringing up the shadow that addiction brings in and celebrating your son for saying yes to coming back into his light and for saying yes to receiving the support. And thank you and celebrating you for being the parent that you are.
Thank you. He was about 28. He'll be 50 this year.
That's so amazing. Celebrating all of you. And how did that feel to share that out loud?
More amazing than I knew. Thank you for your listening. It's a very powerful listening. And we were already so moved by everyone. And Radha, I'm so proud of you for all you've created. Not just your poem, which was also, did bring tears for me. But also creating each moving book that you've had. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution of your energy. I think that's the biggest part, is that we're already huge people willing to express, and coming together, it just empowers beyond.
100. You're so welcome. And is there any last little tidbit of knowledge or wisdom that you'd like to share with our viewers before we continue to the next poet?
I think having to do with writing, the interesting thing that I discovered, the reason that I'm here is because I've been in a writing class for 1.5 years, and whatever I wrote kept coming out sounding like poetry to them. Like there's a particular way that just my writing goes from here to there. And I was going to mention earlier, it's that abstract part of it that is fun for me, but not intentionally. But it's, again, it's like I can't help it, evidently. So when I accepted that about myself, because I kept kind of going, wow, I hardly get any feedback, or, just different things that would come up for me. And this is every morning at 6 a.m., 5 days a week. And when I finally just went, okay, I'm a poet. That's, no matter what I write, it's going to come out that way. So embrace it. And then I found that invitation from Radha that was probably there longer, but that day is when I found it. So that's why I'm here too.
Celebrating you for saying yes.
Thanks.
And we're also celebrating you for saying yes to being the poet that you are.
I just wanted to know if it's okay if I can just share something with her. Mama, I just want to tell you that poetry, again, is a gateway to reach all types of different souls. And yours definitely touched me because my daughter also suffered from addiction. And it kind of connects to my poem, your poem, because my poem is about the feelings that I went through when my daughter was battling being a rape victim and an addict. So hurrah to you, and thank you for letting me know I wasn't alone.
Yes. Oh, thank you for saying that. The other part that comes with being the poet is also embracing being a spiritual leader. And that, for me, all my poetry is spiritual. All my poetry is with the intention that all souls are touched, because we're all human and we all get to feel those things in our lives, whatever they are, even though they look differently. Yeah.
And
I'd
that's
love
the
to
beauty of poetry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Celebrating all of the beautiful parents and mamas out there and dads out there as well, because all of you are superheroes in your own ways and on your own journeys. And the power of this book is bringing through your heart without even realizing how connected we all are.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Selma, for sharing your wisdom. And we
Thank
have
you.
3 more poets.
Oh.
So we are going to continue forward, and we are now going to connect with Eros to bring back a little bit more divine masculine into our call. So Eros, when you are ready, we just need you to unmute yourself and you're good to go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good to go. Welcome. Where are you tuning in from today?
I am in Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, beautiful. And Eros, what is your favorite thing about poetry?
Well, I have a saying that poetry is not cursed by time and space.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And what inspires you to write poetry?
Nothing particular. I've always written from the sense of sharing my heart and soul. And poetry just became another way of doing it. But it's no real inspiration as such, because I've lived my life by looking at my life as a blank canvas, and that I have the possibility to create anything on this canvas and following my heart. So that's basically, but it's not been inspired by one thing or the other. It's just been another part of an expression.
Just finding the blank canvases to fill when they need to be filled. Mm.
Say that again?
Finding the blank canvases that are ready to be filled when you're ready to fill them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it all depends on your way of looking at yourself and life, right?
Absolutely. And would you mind sharing one of your poems with us?
Yeah, this is a very short poem, and here it's on my computer, so I can see if I can see it. All right, because I used to swim with dolphins in the open ocean for, I don't know, over 20 to 25 years. And I used to take people out to have that experience. And they have communicated with me through telepathic communication and channelings. And I used to do groups of channeling as well. But anyway, here is one from the dolphins.
Ah.
In the sea, where we swim, we guide you to be free, to experience the song of your heart is a divine start to be. To live in the present is your life's true essence. In the ocean dance of bliss, we serenade you with a divine kiss. Beloved one, recall the divine song within your being. As our sounds and vibration change humanity's seeing, recognize your own divine face, for your voice is a treasure of grace. In the sound, what can be found? Portals leading human out of the maze into realm of grace, where light endlessly plays. As written in the lore of old, your beloved soul, ancient and bold, fulfills its divine goal, it as a light so bright, inspiring people to see and long for freedom in flight.
Beautiful.
So-
You're receiving claps all around.
All right.
Thank you so much
Good.
for bringing in the dolphin energy. And how did that feel to share out loud?
Fine. I mean, I'm quite, I don't want to sound arrogant here, but I'm used to sharing with groups and lots of people. I do seminars and talks, and so I'm used to be in front of people and share. So fine. And but what I'm not used to is not wearing my hat and have my bedroom look on right now. Because it's 11:25 here, almost midnight. So I don't have my makeup on all my jewelry.
Ah.
Well, thank you for being vulnerable with us and for showing up exactly as you are in this moment.
Of course, I don't really care. I'm just
And is there any last little nuggets of knowledge or wisdom that you would like to share with the group before we move forward to our final two poets?
oh my goodness. Well, I mean, the best way that I can say right now, and it might be, the words might not be so loving and kind, but they really are. But sometimes things have to be expressed in a more potent way. So basically, we all have to awaken to the vanity of how we are playing as human beings and being small. It simply doesn't work anymore. Because if the truth is going to be said, we all are divine, multi-dimensional beings. Today, yesterday, and into eternity. That will never, ever change. Everything else might change. However, your true essence will never change. And it's high noon to start embracing it, not just temporary. Start living your life from a higher vibration. Get out of the matrix. because it serves no one, and it only stops people from experience their true nature and be that mirror so other people can see their own beauty and their own perfection in that mirror. So embrace it all the time. Embrace it as you make decisions in your life. If it's paying taxes or talking about to lawyers or whatever it is, come from the place all around you are just you playing these different roles. So be who you are and stop anything else.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful nugget of knowledge and drop of wisdom. You're getting some big head nods and claps from the group. And thank you for that reminder that we are multidimensional beings, and just to essentially get out of our own way and go create from the highest space within.
Yeah, it stops playing small, the vanity of playing small. It doesn't work, and it is a vanity, because who you really are is a mighty spiritual warrior, and anything else is just silly human vanity.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. Thank you so much,
Good.
Earl, for bringing in your wisdom and for bringing in a little bit more of the divine masculine.
Okay, good. Well, you know, it again comes back to there is no divine masculine, there is no divine feminine either. It's all one divine consciousness playing with itself as the world, as men and women, as universes and galaxies, and you name it. It's all one divine energy.
Embracing the oneness.
Well, it's all there is, really, but really, it's really all there is.
I fully agree with you on that. Thank you. And so we are going to continue forward, and we are now going to connect with the beautiful Ebony. Hello, Ebony.
Hello, Ebony. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia.
Hello, how are you doing over there?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good, very, very good. Thank you for tuning in. I noticed in the messages that you just woke up and joined us. So thank you for rising up and coming in with your freshly awakened energy.
Thank you for sharing. It's a beautiful way to enter the new day. So I appreciate everyone sharing. It's been beautiful.
And Ebony, what is your favorite thing about poetry?
I think listening to the expressions of others' hearts and souls. I really appreciate, how people can express themselves and project into the world what they're feeling through poetry. I really enjoy it. I like to understand other people and tune into how they're feeling in their journey, and very much appreciate it.
Beautiful. And what inspires you to write poetry?
My own heart, the feeling. It just naturally comes about. So it's just one of those things. It's if I have to get something out, and then it usually will just form in a in a poetry way.
Beautiful. And would you mind sharing one of your poems with us?
Yeah, sure. I did a really quick scramble. So this one I found just in my writing box. It was a little bit of a different take, a note to self. I'm all about self-empowerment, self-care, self-love, and understanding the heart and the emotions, the human emotions. So that's where this one sort of comes from. So maybe you can understand the conclusion that I represent, but if you would just take some time to find out what my heartfelt words meant, you will find the same predictions that use common sense and a higher conscience available to any that will just listen. and ponder not any heard statements, but rather gather your initial heartfelt emotions and believe what you feel to be the truth and the peace. Go and stand with your heart, and the rest will fall into its place. Trust in oneself is to trust another. To be doubtful of another requires reasons in one's own heart felt. Why is the feeling mutual? Would you not be trustworthy to another? Love the life that you create and stand tall when your heartfelt words are meant. Speak with your heart and love will guide you. Believe in yourself and don't let others misinterpret you.
So powerfully said. Thank you so much for reading and for bringing in that confidence at the end of the call. How did it share? How did it feel to share out loud?
Yeah, I like it. Thank you for offering the space. Yeah, it is new for me to share my heartfelt expressions so intimately. And yeah, I really appreciate the space. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And what would be one little last nugget of knowledge that you would like to share with the group?
Just listening to your own self. You know yourself better than anyone in this entire universe. And despite what we've been conditioned to believe, or when we return to our heart and can love from this space and see through this lens, your true nature and essence shines. I've seen this, I've felt this, I see it in others, and it's just something that is really real. Keep asking yourself the questions to get to that truth. We can dissolve the layers and come back to ourselves at any time. Just believe in yourself.
Thank you so much, Ebony, for sharing your wisdom and for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the group. And we are going to continue forward to the last poet, who happens to be myself. Because I did want to be a part of this, because I am a part of this book, but I didn't want to take up the space until the end. I wanted to make sure we got through everybody. So hello, everybody. I am Care, and I am tuning in from Montreal in Canada. And one of my favorite things about poetry is how every single person can interpret a message completely differently, just like communication. One of my biggest things that I love to nerd out about is communication. And everybody can interpret one sentence 720 different ways. So just by one sentence being interpreted that many different ways, having a combination when it's in an artistic way like poetry, it becomes this plethora of imagination and so many different pathways. And it just allows so many different people to go into their imagination in a way that visual art doesn't necessarily bring us in. What inspires me about writing poetry is I didn't know I was a poet until this project. I have actually always created the barrier around myself because I really struggled with reading and writing as a kid, that I couldn't write. And then all of a sudden I was gifted this opportunity, and I had a huge experience in my life. And the same day I ended up having a headbutt with one of my best friends, and 2 lines just popped through. And from there, I kind of went, okay, maybe there's something with this. And I realized that all of my poems seem to have started to stream in from that moment. And they start with 1 line, which is kind of a calling to go find the pen and paper, and then to start writing it down. So today I am going to share with you my poem that is called With Love. And I work a lot with both the light and the shadow. And so this is a poem that originally was actually 2 different thoughts that ended up becoming a poem. So with love, I see you wanting to play, yet you're keeping yourself at bay. I hear you wanting to scream, but you're worried that someone may think that you're mean. Stop letting yourself play small, for you are worthy of the deepest love of them all. Always follow the rhythm of your own tune and let it transport you to the moon. I witness you in your collection of masks instead of letting your authenticity bask. I cheer for you to shine so bright as you realize the power of your inner light, while falling in deeper love with yourself and your being. You'll realize how much less you need to be doing. So be yourself always and forever as we rise up with love all together. Thank you so much for receiving. And that felt absolutely wonderful to read out loud. It's the first time I have. And it felt really, really nice to be able to share it. And one thing that I did want to share was as reading it, my dog's been very quiet until this moment, so she's getting impatient. While I was reading it, I could feel the different ebbs and flows with my own shadow that came through when this was written, because this was actually 3 different parts of my life combined into one. So it just felt really nice to share that. And my last little nugget of knowledge is always follow your heart. Even if it feels scary, even if it feels sticky, icky, and gross, and it feels like you might end up having a few anxiety attacks, follow your heart. And I say that from somebody who had so many hits to follow my heart. And out of fear, I went in other directions and I ended up receiving so many beautiful lessons from life. And it all just came down to take what's in your heart and go create your art. So take what's in your heart and please go create your art.
I love it. Let's do a big round of applause. Everybody unmute, everyone on camera.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Awesome.
Wow. That was amazing.
Super.
Oh. Did we want to close off just with a little moment of coming into our heart? I'm happy to lead a little moment like that if you'd like. Okay, so wherever you
Sure.
are, if you're able to, take a seat or close your eyes. Place your left hand and your right hand on top of your heart, connecting to your heart and creating the infinity symbol of your being through your arms. From here, start to feel into your heart. Let your heart expand out into your hands. Let your energy flow through the infinity symbol that is you. Just take a few breaths to receive all of the knowledge, the wisdom, all of the creation, and everything that came from the heart today. Let it fill up your being, your aura, and let it expand out into the world around you. And to close off, we'll take 3 nice deep inhales and exhales and just clear out through your exhales any last little bits that don't feel like you. So take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And let it go. Inhale. And release. One last time. Whenever you're ready, gently twinkle your eyes open and meet back in the Zoom room.
Oh, I felt good. That was a lot that was integrated. So some actually, I think a lot of activations actually happened through this call. I definitely felt activated by everyone's poem, and hearing it was totally different than reading it, by the way. Totally different and way more activating. Powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bless you
Thank
all.
you, everybody, and sorry for the distractions. It's been, I literally, it's like a zoo. I literally am like,
I love it.
She's
It's
right
really
on
Thank
cue.
you, everyone.
You're a
No.
great multitasker, Miss Star.
Yes, you are, Miss.
No apologies. It's powerful.
Apologies. Oh my goodness. I love you all so much. I can't believe we made it together, you know, and now the paperback is coming out. Well, when this comes out, the paperback will be out. We're gonna stream this the 24th. So and then you guys can share it wherever you want. And just know that I just can't thank you enough. These poems are, you know, part of your legacy, and they will go on long after we do. So thank you
Wow.
so much for having the courage and faith to step into this container and be part of this sacred journey together. I love each and every one of you, and all your voices are so potent, powerful, full of activations, and I thank you. This has definitely been a healing journey in itself. So I'm so happy. I feel guilty here now.
Yeah.
And anyone else want to share before we say goodbye?
Thank you so
Everyone,
much
just
for
give
this.
yourself applause.
Blessings, everyone.
and this is
Blessing,
just
peace and love.
another example of how all of our poems are just really sound like one big poem.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's coming from the heart of the cosmic, whatever it is, just self
Oneness.
I love it.
That oneness.
That
we
oneness,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. It's that oneness.
I think you wanted to say
Oh.
something.
I just wanted to say a thank you to you, to Radha, to have taken the time, the energy to have put together the book, to have put together all of the different opportunities for everybody to also not just be a part of the book, but also be able to be interviewed in so many different ways, and to take the time. Bean's ready to come in the call now.
I love it.
She's like, I'm the star now.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Take
appreciate
good care.
that.
Bless
Appreciate
you all.
Much love.
And great job
Much
being
love.
a hostess, Kara.
Mhm.
Really good.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Much love.
You as well. And whoever's going to sleep at night, whoever's just waking up, good morning. Raja, thank you so much for the opportunity and for being so amazing.
My son has been wanting to talk to you guys so bad. Say hi.
Hey, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
I've been shooing him away, but he's been wanting to come through. Look, there's another one.
A little one.
This is Radha and Care and Sabrina. And there's Ebony and Milian. Sorry if I said that wrong. Christina and Selma. Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Yeah.
David also is saying hi, Karen.
He's literally trying to crawl up something dangerous.
Putting him to sleep, actually.
He's literally like, have you guys ever had an ant around them before?
I wanted to show you.
You know when you're like trying to get rid of the ant?